right, so welcome back, everyone. It's great to have you back in our yoga class. We're going to start class by sitting in our chair, coming about mid-chair with your feet flat on the floor, with your back away from the back of the chair so you're feeling able to sit up nice and tall. Allow your shoulders to settle down and away from your ears. And imagine the very top of your head was being magnetically drawn up towards your ceiling. So your chin here doesn't lift. Your nose is still pointing straight forward, but there's like a little lightness on the head lifting up towards the ceiling. But if you're feeling comfortable now, you might try to close the eyes. Now, if you find closing the eyes uncomfortable for you for any reason, that is fine. You can keep your eyes open, but just see if you can soften your gaze a little bit. Otherwise, closing your eyes, allowing your eyes to settle back into their sockets, and starting to turn your attention towards your breath. Starting to feel air as it travels in and out through your nose. Now, if you're feeling a little congested through the nose and sinuses, you're welcome to breathe through your mouth. But if and when possible, trying to breathe through your nose. And for these first few breaths, if as best you can, try not to alter your breath at all, but instead simply feel the air as it comes into your body and out of your body. Notice where you feel your breath moving to. Notice where you feel your breath moving from. Maybe also kind of tune into where you might not be feeling your breath at all. Parts of the body that might feel a little closed off from the breath. With your eyes closed or softened, if you can now start to relax the face, allow any sensation of an expression on your face to just kind of melt away. Let your shoulders settle. Allow your hips to sink into the chair, aligning your shoulders over top of your hips, feeling the weight of your upper body sinking into your hips. And then start to move your tongue around a little bit in your mouth. You might lick your lips, you might run your tongue along your teeth, and feel some saliva building up in the mouth. Good. Once you have a bit of a buildup there of saliva, you can then gently swallow and follow the sensation of the swallow all the way down to your belly. And then wherever you felt that swallow kind of end, place one hand on that spot. So for some people, that will be more up in the upper belly. For some people, that'll be more down in the lower belly. But wherever that is for you, place that hand where you feel like the bottom of your swallow kind of ended there. And now start to notice how your breath is moving in that space where your hand is resting. Could be very subtle feeling of the belly expanding and softening. Might be a bit more dramatic for you. It just depends kind of the situation of the muscles and the kind of naturalness of your breath to be in the belly. Now let's establish our breath for practice here. So keeping that hand on the belly, take your other hand if it's available and wrap it around behind you. So it's resting directly behind the body where the front hand is. Now, sometimes that's asking a lot of your shoulder. So if your shoulder doesn't allow that, it's okay. Bring both hands onto the front on the belly. But if it's available, keep one hand on the belly, wrap the other hand around to the back. And now gently and slowly start to build your inhales and exhales. So each time you inhale, you're going to bring just a little bit more air in, feeling the space between your hands expand. And then each time you breathe out, you're going to gently contract the belly in, feeling even like the spine is drawing in. Then soften that inhale and feel that space expand. Maybe taking in a little bit more air now. Then gently exhaling and contracting. So keep moving the breath like that, inhaling and expanding that space between the hands. And then exhaling and contracting. As you build your breath like this, ensure that you're not clenching at all in your throat. Let your throat stay quite soft and relaxed, so the breath has lots of room to move. And you're accentuating the breath down in the belly in the back. Growing that breath till you feel you get to a place where you're kind of at your capacity. You're breathing in as deeply as you can, but you're not breathing in and out so deeply that you feel like you're straining your breath. You're still within the realm of a relatively comfortable breath here. If you have one hand on the belly, one hand on the back, I want you to be conscious of which hand you have on your belly. Is it your right one or your left one? And which hand do you have around behind you? Now, if you have one hand stacked on top of the other, I want you to be aware of which hand is on top. On your next inhale, we're going to let the arms go out to the sides, just as wide as you can comfortably bring them. Then as you exhale, you're going to change which hand is on top or in front and which hand is behind or underneath. Next inhale, spread those arms wide out to the side. Then exhale and again come back to the first hand on the belly, the other hand around the back. Inhale, expand. Exhale, switching the hands, coming in. Inhale, expand. Good. Exhale, bringing the hands back in. We're going to flow like this a few times with the breath. Inhaling. Exhaling. You kind of imagine your arms a little like wings. So as you inhale, they span out nice and broad. And then you exhale, it's like you're wrapping your wings around you. Good. Inhaling. Exhaling. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, take the arms wide. This time as you exhale, let your hands come down to your side. Keeping your thumbs facing forward, your pinky fingers facing back. So your palms are facing in. As you inhale now, take the arms forward so the thumbs face up and take the arms straight out in front of you. With your thumbs facing up, you're going to cross your right hand over your left hand. So the back of the hands are touching each other. Then with the thumbs facing up, you're going to guide those thumbs out and away from one another, turning the palms down or the thumbs down. So now the palms are facing each other. Good. So let's try that one more time. Unwrap the hands, bring the palms to face each other, one arm out in front, or both arms, sorry, out in front. You can let your elbows be bent here a little bit if the shoulders are feeling a little fatigued. Then your thumbs are going to cross. So your arms are going to cross, right arm over left, back of the hands together. Then turn your thumbs out and away from one another. So the thumbs face down and the palms now face each other. And then as you do that, you can interlace your hands there. Good. Now, if that all feels like too much, the joints are not enjoying that, simply bring your palms together and interlace them. Good. If you're not crossing the arms like this, palms are interlaced, you're going to start to rotate at the wrist. If you have your hands crossed and interlaced, you're going to slide the hands towards your belly, draw them up the chest towards the chin, and let the elbows drop down. Nice. Keep those hands interlaced as you slide the hands back down towards your belly and out, keeping the hands interlaced. Good. Bring them back in towards the belly, up towards the chest, towards the chin, and then down and out. And we're going to add the breath in here now. So as you inhale, draw your hands in and up. Exhale, draw them down and out. As you inhale, draw them in and up. Exhale, draw them down and out. One more time. Inhale, bring them in and up. Fists up, elbows down. Good. Exhale, draw the hands down and out. Beautiful. Let's uncross the hands. Bring them back to face one another. You've got to do the other side. So the left hand is going to cross over the right hand. The back of the hands are facing each other. Palms are facing away. Thumbs are up. We're going to turn the thumbs out to the sides, then down to the ground. Palms now facing each other. Interlace your fingers. So arms are crossed here. Yeah, good. Then you're going to take your hands and slide them to your belly. Draw them up to the chin. As the hands flip up to the chin, the elbows drop down. Good. Then we take the hands down to the belly and out. And take them into the belly and up. Down to the belly and out. Let's add in the breath. Inhaling as the hands come in and up. Exhaling as the hands go down and out. Take the breath and the movement as slow as you need to give all those joints time to move and rotate. Good. This is such great work for the hands, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, the upper back. Good. Let's do 3 more. Inhale as they come in and up. Exhale as they come down and out. Good. Last one. Really nice. Once the hands come back out, uncross them. Place your hands down onto your knees. Very good. Let's tuck the chin in now and lift the chin up just a few times, starting to get some motion through the neck. Be mindful here of your spine. If there's any issues along the spine, you might not be tilting and tucking or lifting as much. You might work more to sit upright to lengthen the spine. Good. Let's bring the head now to center and gently turn your head towards the right. We're going to hold here. Keep your breath moving. Looking off towards your right, your left hand now may come to your left hip. It may slide around behind your back. So your left hand's going to slide across the back to the right side of your back. Left shoulder drawing back. Now, if your shoulder doesn't like that, it's fine. You could let your left hand stay at your side, on your hip or in your lap. That's fine. Let's keep the gaze to the right though. Just a couple more breaths here as we gently stretch through the left side of the neck. And if you have your left hand behind you or at your side, bring the left hand back onto your lap, turn your head to center. Ensure you're still maintaining that belly breath. Good. Let's take the head now to the left. Gazing off to the left side, the right hand wraps around behind you across your back. Or your right arm could dangle at your side, or your right hand could rest on your hip or stay in your lap. Having the arm wrapped behind you just sometimes adds a little bit to the stretch, but we're working individually where our bodies need to be today. So doing what is appropriate for you. Beautiful. If your right hand is behind you or at your side, bring it back onto your lap. Bring your head back into center. Hands forward now, so you're cupping your knees with your hands. We're working to keep the arms here as straight as you can. And on your next inhale, I want you to try to draw your shoulders back without the hands moving. So we're keeping the arms straight, the shoulders wrap back, the chest comes forward. Keep that now and try to draw your belly forward. And it's like you're going to rock forward on your sit bones. So your hips are tilting forward. You may lift your chin here and look up towards the ceiling. We're going to hold a little as we stretch through the front of the body. As you exhale, we're going to reverse it. So first let the shoulders come forward, drop the chin, then hug the belly in and tilt to the back of your hips. We're going to hold here, rounding, breathing. Arms are still straight here. Nice, long, straight arms. Keep those arms straight. Inhale now, shoulders back, chest forward, belly forward, lift the chin. Exhale, drop the chin, shoulders forward, round the spine. Inhale, belly, chest, chin. Exhale, chin, chest, belly, let's round. Inhale, arcing. Exhale, rounding. Beautiful, back and forth. Again, be really attentive to your spine. Your movements might be quite tiny. That's okay. Little bit of movement is great. Better than no movement. So doing what is appropriate for you. Beautiful. Next time your chest comes forward, shift your chest over to your right. Then round again through center as you shift your chest to the left. Then come up through center, chest forward and over to the right. Exhale, rounding in through center and to the left. Starting to circle your rib cage here over top of your hips. I want you to feel a lot of movement in the upper belly space. So just at the base of your rib cage, that's where we're doing the most movement here. A real sense of kind of churning right there. Let's churn the other way. Same action, just reverse it, go back the other way. And this motion again could be as big or as small as you need. Just see if you can create some motion here for yourself. Beautiful, beautiful work. Let's come back to center now. Sit up nice and tall, letting your arms rest at your sides, palms facing in. Good. We're going to come into the legs now, simply coming to tap your toes just to start to wake up the legs. Little bit of toe tapping, alternating from one foot to the other. Good. As we switch to really work the legs, I want you to pay attention though to your upper body. We're not dropping in here. We're not rounding. We're going to keep that upper body a little bit more weight, lifted, shoulders over the hips, head facing forward. Good. Shifting now from toe tapping to heel stomping, alternating right and left, just getting a little bit of motion and waking up those legs. Toe tapping and heel stomping are really good motions actually to do for the legs, especially if you have to sit a fair bit. Good. Now you're welcome to stay with heel stomping if that feels best for you, or you can start to bring your legs into marching. Lifting one, then the other, finding your own rhythm, your own tempo. And your legs don't have to lift very high. They might just come barely off the floor. That is fine. That is great lift. We're still working the same muscles here. Good. Whether you're lifting heels or lifting the feet, the next time you lift that right foot, keep it lifted. Pause. Hold there. Hold there. Sitting tall. Beautiful. You could keep the knee bent for a little added challenge. You could extend that right leg out in front. Your heel might be on the floor. That's okay. It might just slightly hover from the floor, or your right leg is extended straight out from the hip. Wherever you are, take your arms forward or all the way up overhead. Breathing deep here. You have your right leg lifted, place the heel on the ground, and then on your next exhale, fold long over that right leg. You could release your hands to your thighs for a little added support, or for more challenge, keep the arms forward, look forward. Nice. Let's inhale, rise back up. Good. And then maybe see if you can hover that right heel from the ground again or lift it up level with the hip. Good job. Place that right foot now down beside the left foot. Let your arms return to your sides. Good. Let's find that march. Again, you might be lifting feet. You might be marching from the heels. That is fine. Good. Should be a little odd. We've done a bit more for the right leg than the left leg, so your march might feel a little lopsided. That's okay. We're going to balance it out. Stay upright here. Keep your breath moving. The next time you have your left foot lifted, whether it's the heel or the whole foot, keep the left foot lifted. The knee is bent to start, and I want you to check in with your upper body. Are you leaning forward? Are you leaning back? Are you collapsing? Could you keep your upper body upright and aligned over your hips? You could keep your left knee bent. This is great. You could extend the leg out. Again, the heel might be on the floor, or you might have that foot lifted somewhere along that track. From here, take your arms straight out in front, or maybe take them back up overhead. Anyone notice how one leg lifted is a lot harder than the other leg? I notice. Well, I have one leg that's this leg's a lot harder than the other leg, but we're going to keep it lifted. We're going to breathe. Very good. If your left foot is off the floor, place your left heel on the ground and then fold over the legs. Now, as you fold, really lengthen your spine forward. You might keep your arms reaching forward, or you might place your hands on your thighs for some support to the back. Wherever you are, breathe there. Nice. On your inhale, rise back up. Beautiful. Maybe you keep the heel on the ground. Maybe you try lifting that heel up. Maybe bringing it up level with your hip. Good job. One more breath here like this. Then place that left foot on the floor. Let your arms come down to your sides. This time, turn your palms forward. Let the shoulders roll back. Tadasana. Good. Okay, from here, we can have the arms stay at the sides, or with the palms still facing forward, you might bring your arms up level with your shoulders, kind of like you're holding onto a tray, or you have sort of like logs in your arms and you're holding the logs. If your shoulders allow, you might take your arms up a little bit higher, but the palms are still facing kind of back behind you. Pinky fingers are facing each other. This is a fair bit of rotation for those shoulders. So be aware of what's appropriate for you here. Good. Then from here, we're going to take the upper body and lean it just a little bit forward. I promise you, you do not have to go very far and for you to feel a bit of activity. Good. Then press into both feet. We have so much going on here. So meet the challenge with your breath. Lots of breathing. Good. You're welcome to stay as you are. As you can tell, there's a lot to do here. If your knees, hips, and low back are feeling okay, as you press into your feet, you might slide your hips slightly forward off the chair, taking more weight into the legs. You are welcome to use your hands to help yourself lift off the chair. That is okay. Good. You're welcome to stay seated as well. On your next exhale, let your arms come to your sides like wings. As you inhale, scoop the air up in front. Exhale, bring them back down. Inhale, take them up. Exhale, bring them down. Nice. Inhale now. Let's straighten up. Let's rise up, coming to a stand or a seat. Reach up, look up. And exhale, let the arms come down and sit back as though you were going to sit back into that chair. So if you're already sitting in the chair, you're slightly leaning forward. Good. Inhale, let's rise back up. Work. Exhale, bend the knees, sit back without sitting down. So if you, unless you're already sitting down, if you're not sitting down, you're going to hover. Good work. Let's inhale, rise back up. Got one more in us. Let's exhale, sit back and down. Back and down. Good. Beautiful. Hold here, breathe here. Inhale, rise back up, stretch up, sitting or standing, reach up, look up. Palms together in front of your heart. Position with the hands, try closing the eyes or softening the gaze, and take 5 big body breaths here. Beautiful work. On that 5th exhale, release your arms to your sides, return to Tadasana. From here, if you're sitting in the chair, I'm going to encourage you to reach back and hold the sides of the back of your chair. If that doesn't work for your shoulders, then your hands can come onto your hips. If you're standing, you could have your hands on your hips or slide your hands around to the back of your hips so your fingertips are facing down, thumbs are on the outside. Wrap your shoulders wherever you are. Take those shoulders to the back of your body. Hug the shoulder blades together. As you squeeze your shoulder blades together, think about the upper belly hugging in just a little. So not so much the low belly, think middle of the body, hug that in just a little. Good, then wherever you are, press into your feet, nice and strong. Lift the chest. Now, if you have any concerns for your spine, you're gonna stay here like this, pressing down, lifting up, nice long spine. If the spine's feeling okay today, you might start to curve your upper back. Keep your head here in line with the spine. Try to resist that urge to drop your head back. And for those who are standing, watch the tendency to push your hips forward. Instead, keep your hips over your heels. Lift up through the chest and then curve back. Good work, everybody. Let's inhale back up into center. Exhale, release your arms to your sides. If there's any lightheadedness or dizziness, please have a seat in your chair. Beautiful. Okay, let's grab the chair. If you're standing, move the chair up to the top of your mat. If you're sitting, stay seated as you are. Okay. Now, everybody's chair is going to be a different height. So for those who are standing, you're going to have to find what works for you here. So if you're standing, you could take one hand on the back of the chair, the other one on the seat of the chair, and bring your right foot up on the chair. Now, if your chair is too high for you to do that, you're going to put your right foot under the chair and walk your left foot back instead. If you're sitting in the chair, extend your left heel out in front. Keep your right knee bent, right foot on the floor. For those who are standing with their right foot on the chair or under the chair, you might take both hands to the back of the chair. Make sure you feel steady here before maybe bringing your hands up onto your front thigh. You are welcome to keep a hand on the back of the chair. That's a great support. Wherever you are, bring your right hand onto your hip. Sitting, you might bring your left hand onto your right thigh. If you're standing, you might keep the left hand on the chair, or if you feel steady, left hand on the right thigh, slowly turning your upper body towards your right. Good. If you have your right hand on your hip, try releasing that right arm, send it out behind you with the thumb facing up and the palm facing outwards. Good. Then maybe your gaze starts to turn around towards that right hand. Maybe. Especially those who are standing, there is an element here of balance. So be attentive to your balance. One more breath like this. First, release that right hand onto your hip if it was extended, then slowly bring your head back around. If you're standing, take your hands onto the back of the chair, the seat of the chair, and slide that right foot off. If you're sitting, extend your right leg out, place your left foot on the floor. Those who are standing, switch the grip of your hands and then bring that left foot up or bring that left foot under the chair and extend the right leg a little further back. I want those who are standing with the foot on the chair to be very attentive to your balance. Both hands come to the back of the chair, then maybe both hands onto that left thigh. Good. If you have your right hand on your hip, try releasing that right arm, send it out behind you with the thumb facing up and the palm facing outwards. Good. Then maybe your gaze starts to turn around towards that right hand. Maybe. Especially those who are standing, there is an element here of balance. So be attentive to your balance. One more breath like this. First, release that right hand onto your hip if it was extended, then slowly bring your head back around. If you're standing, take your hands onto the back of the chair, the seat of the chair, and slide that right foot off. If you're sitting, extend your right leg out, place your left foot on the floor. Those who are standing, switch the grip of your hands and then bring that left foot under the chair and extend the right leg a little further back. I want those who are standing with the foot on the chair to be very attentive to your balance. Both hands come to the back of the chair, then maybe both hands onto that left thigh. Wherever you are, left hand now to the left hip. Here. Right hand maybe comes across to the right thigh. If you're standing, you might keep your right hand on the chair. That's fine. Start to turn your chest towards the left. Maybe turn your gaze towards the left. And if you have your hand on the hip, you might release that arm, send it out behind you. Maybe turning to look over that left arm. Good, one more breath like this. Gently release the left hand. Slowly the gaze back to the front. Unwind the upper body. If you're standing, slide that left foot off the chair with support. If you're sitting, bring both feet back side by side. Let's return to Tadasana. If you're standing, you're facing your chair. From here, let's take arms forward and up, lifting them as high as you can. As you exhale, release your hands, folding forward, hands to the knees or to the seat of the chair. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, look forward. Exhale, gently bend your elbows and fold down. Now be mindful of blood pressure here. Keep your head above your heart if you need. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Excuse me. Fold. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Now let's all hold here for a few breaths. So if you're standing, your hands would be on the chair. If you're sitting, your hands would be on your knees. As you're folding forward, you're looking forward. And I want you to imagine that you're kind of looking out over the edge of a cliff. So you don't really want to be right at the edge of the cliff, right? We're a little bit back and we're kind of stretching to see if we can look over the edge of that cliff. Really good. Okay, keep that sense of length. If you're standing, you're going to shift the weight into your left foot, slide your right leg back and maybe lift your right leg up. If you're sitting, you're leaning out over, looking over that cliff. You might slide your right foot forward, maybe lift that right foot from the floor. Very good, everybody. Breathe here. But if you have your right leg lifted, place it back down. Keep that gaze forward, that sense of stretching forward. Then shift the weight into your right foot, lift that left leg up. So if you're standing, the leg goes out behind you. If you're sitting, the leg goes out in front. Breathing deep, long spine. Work, everybody. Let's release that left foot down. If you're standing, walk your feet now back away from the chair and make a nice long L shape with your body. Your downward facing dog. If you're sitting, both feet on the ground, interlace your hands, press your palms forward, draw the arms up. Feel length through the sides of your body here. If you're sitting, release your hands, walk your feet wide and fold down between your knees. So your elbows could rest onto your knees or your hands could come to your shins, ankles, or the floor. If you're standing, you could use the chair to help lower yourself down onto your knees. Take your knees wide, your big toes to touch. Sink your hips back and come on down to your child's pose. If coming onto the floor is not a good option for you, you're welcome to come into the chair and fold down between your legs there. If you are able to come to the floor, but just not okay to be on your knees, you're welcome to make your way down, whatever way works for you, and come to lay on your back instead. Bringing your knees in wide, holding onto your shins. So we're all in slightly different variations here of our child's pose. That's great, that's fine. Find a little compression here between your thighs and your belly. A little lengthening through that low back. And now let's bring in our Brahmari breath, our bumblebee breath here. So softly placing your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Take a nice exhale breath. Then a gentle inhale breath. And the next time you exhale, do a little hum, a little gentle hum with the tongue at the roof of the mouth. Letting your inhale breath happen naturally. A little hum on your exhale. Good. Inhale. And humming. Keep breathing like this, and I'll signal when it's time to release that breath. Let's take 3 more breaths here like this. Last one. Release that breath. Let your belly breath come back in. So reestablish that deep belly breath. If you're sitting in the chair, you'll slowly come on up to sit tall. If you're on your knees, you're going to roll yourself up and kind of sit down onto your mat. And if you're on your back, gently bring your knees together and then roll over onto one side and press yourself up so you can come to sit up on the floor. So those in the chair, you're sitting with your feet flat in your Tadasana. Those on the floor, you're sitting with your legs straight out, and you're welcome to grab a pillow or a block or a rolled up blanket to sit up onto. Sometimes that's more comfortable. From here, if you're on the floor, you're going to press down into your hands so they're right beside your hips. And if you're sitting in the chair, try grabbing the sides of your chair and pulling up a little bit on the chair. All this motion or effort helps to lengthen the spine. Beautiful. Okay. If you're sitting on the floor, you're going to take your right arm up to the sky. Keep your left hand on the floor. If you're sitting in the chair, your right arm could extend up and then release the grip of your left hand on the side of the chair. From here, we're going to curve over towards the left. Those on the floor, you could walk your left hand out to the left as you curve. Those sitting in the chair, your left arm's dangling at your side as you arc over to the right, to the left with your right arm. Good. Let's come back up into center. Release that right arm down. Take the left arm up. Now, of course, if your arm's extending upwards is not an option for you, your hand could come to your shoulder, or you might take that arm more out in front. Then curving over towards your right. If you're on the floor, you might walk that right arm out to the right a little bit. If you're in the chair, let that right arm dangle down beside you, curving over to the right with your left arm. Beautiful. Inhale back up into center. Now take both arms up overhead or straight out in front. Big breath in. As you exhale, fold, reaching towards your toes. You might touch your toes. You might rest your hands on your shins. We're going to hold here. So if you're in the chair, you're folding over your legs. If there's any concern for blood pressure, please be aware to keep your head above your heart. Nice. Then walk your hands back up your legs very slowly. Come back up to sit. If you're on the floor, you could bend your right knee. Now place your right foot on the floor. Then wherever you are, take your left hand to your right thigh. Right hand sweeps around behind you as you gently twist towards the right. Good. Inhale, unwind. Okay, so listen carefully because there's a little bit different for those who are sitting in the chair to those who are on the floor. If you're on the floor, you could let that right knee open and bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. If that's not comfortable, simply extend the right leg out to the right. If you're sitting in the chair, you're going to open your legs wide, straighten your left leg out to the left. So the left heel is on the floor, left toes flexing back. Good. Then let's all take the left hand onto the left leg. Bring the right hand onto your chest. And once again, we're going to rotate towards the right. Allowing your left hand to slide down your left leg, coming into a side stretch here with a little bit of a twist. The right hand could stay on your chest, especially if you notice that you want to kind of round forward. Keep that right shoulder rolled back. Maybe extending that right arm out to the right. Maybe reaching that right arm overhead. If you're on the floor, really help yourself out here by flexing the left foot back. And wherever you are, imagine you might touch your left toes with your right hand. Remember, sense of humor is really important in yoga. But maybe one day it will be there. And we have to at least be able to imagine it. Good. One more breath like this. Then inhale slowly, slowly. Rise back up into center. Good. Straighten both legs out if you're on the floor. Plant both feet on the ground if you're sitting in the chair. If you're on the floor, bend your left knee now. Place your left foot on the floor. Then let's all together take the right hand to the left thigh, coming into our twist here. The left hand, comes around behind you, and you gently twist to your left. Very good. Let's inhale to unwind the spine. Then again, you have options if you're on the floor. That left knee might open up so the foot can come to the inside of the right thigh. If that doesn't work, simply extend that left leg out to the left. If you're sitting in the chair, your legs are still wide apart. This time the right leg goes out to the right. Straight right leg, heel on the ground. Okay. Then from there, right hand on the right thigh, left hand on the chest. It's the rotation of the chest towards the left that is going to really accentuate the stretch. So turning to look to your left, then sliding your right hand down your right leg as you again arc the body over to the right. You can keep your left hand on the chest or send it out behind you or to the side, or maybe then drape it overhead. Beautiful. Inhale, rise back up into center gently, gently. Extend both legs out if you're on the floor. Place both feet on the ground about hip distance apart if you're in the chair. Once again, hands to your sides, either pressing down into the ground or pulling up on your chair. Sit tall. All right. If you're on the floor, then you could bend your knees, place your feet on the ground, use your hands for support, and lower yourself down onto your back. If you're sitting in the chair, and you're going to come to sit centered again with your chair, feet flat on the floor and side by side. Squeeze your knees together. Take your hands around to the back of your chair, wrap your shoulders back, lift your chest up, lift your gaze up, back bend here. If you're on the floor, you're going to walk your feet in nice and close to your hips. Take your arms to your sides, press into your feet, into your arms, into your head, Lift your hips from the ground. Coming into one bridge pose here. Little back bend. Good. Inhaling, exhaling. Holding the body, but keeping the breath moving. Well done. Gently release your back bend. Slowly, gently. Coming to a centered position. Good. If you're in the chair, you're keeping your knees together, feet together, squeezing them together. Taking your right hand to your right thigh, sorry, your left hand, I apologize. Left hand to the right thigh, or place your left elbow on your left knee. Bring your right hand to your hip. So a little bit of a deeper twist there if you like. If you're on the floor, you're going to lift your hips up, shift them over to the right. Take your arms wide, lift the feet from the floor, and take your legs to the left. Coming to our final twist. Deep whole body breaths here. So if you're in the chair, your legs are together, your left hand could be on your left thigh, right hand behind you for your twist, very similar to the seated twist we just did. Or take your left elbow on your left thigh, right hand to the hip, rotate the chest open there in a bit of a forward fold with a twist. Beautiful. If you're in the chair, you're going to slowly unwind your body first, then come upright to sit tall. If you're on the floor, you can let your feet stay touching the ground as you slowly bring your knees back up, rolling your hips down. Those in the chair, your right hand comes to your left thigh, or your right elbow comes down onto your right thigh, and you twist towards your left. Those on the ground, you're going to shift your hips over to the left side of your mat, then float the feet off the ground and take your legs to the right side of your mat, coming into the final side of the final twist. Maybe closing your eyes here. You could gently start to release the effort of your breath. All right, those in the chair, slowly unwind your body first, then rise back up to your seated position. Those on the floor, gently ease the knees back up through space, then slide your hips back into the center of your mat. If you're sitting in the chair, you could fold down over both your legs, wrap your arms under your legs, and give yourself a squeeze or a hug here. If you're on the floor, you might lift your feet from the ground, bring your knees to your belly, hold your shins, or wrap your arms around your thighs, and actively hug the legs into the belly. Nice full breath just to help soften the back a little bit here. And then gently releasing the legs. If you're on the floor, you can extend the legs out or maybe keep the knees bent and the feet on the ground for some support. If you're in the chair, you're going to release your legs and roll on up to sit right onto the back of your chair. So slide yourself back to the back of your chair, maybe grabbing a pillow to place behind your back or in your lap. If you're on the floor, your arms will rest at your sides with the palms facing up. And if you're in the chair, you might place your hands in your lap with a pillow under your hands, but also make sure here that your feet are not dangling. You might place a pillow or a blanket or some blocks under your feet. If you're wearing any sort of what I kind of consider distractive clothing, so jewelry, anything that's kind of maybe a little agitating, then you might remove that, like bracelets and rings. And if you have glasses on, it's a nice time to remove your glasses. If you happen to have a sweater, socks, or a blanket close by, you might put those on instead. And then wherever you are, softly close the eyes or ease the eyes a little, letting your eyes again settle back into their socket.
Truly let go of your breath now. Let it find its natural rhythm, its natural depth, and allow your shoulders to relax and settle away from your ears. Notice the position of your right arm. Allow your whole right arm to get heavy and let your right arm relax. Notice the position of your left arm. Allow your whole left arm get heavy. Let your whole left arm relax. Notice the shape and position of your right leg. Feel the length of your right leg and allow your whole right leg now to get heavy. Allow your whole right leg to relax. Feel the position of your left leg, the shape of your left leg. Allow your whole left leg now to get heavy. Allow your whole left leg to relax. And feel the position of your body, the shape of your body here. And give your body now full freedom to get heavy, full freedom to relax. Allowing your breath to flow now as it wishes in and out of your body. Coming to settle deeply into Savasana, this final resting posture. We're going to take a little time in this posture to be still and to be quiet. And I'll bring us back in a few moments to close the practice. Keeping your body still and at ease. Feel without altering your breath at all. Feel your breath moving in and out here. Once again, noticing where in your body your breath travels to and where it travels from. Maybe also noticing parts of the body that are still a little closed off, a little resistant to the breath. Not judging these places as good or bad or right or wrong, but simply noticing them, acknowledging them. We all have them, so we just allow them to be. Knowing that as you return to yoga over and over, these places will start to open. You'll start to receive that breath. We don't need to force anything here. Let's now begin to move the body gently in little ways, curling and uncurling the fingers, starting to wiggle your toes, maybe slowly turning your head one way and then the other. If you're on the floor, you might find reaching your arms over your head and pointing your toes to stretch the body, feeling really good. If you're in your chair, you might extend the arms out and stretch as well. Or you might gently fold and rest your elbows on your thighs, just releasing the effort of the back. If you're on the floor, you could bend your knees, place your feet on the ground, and then slowly roll yourself over onto your right side. And from your side, bring yourself up as we all start to come up now to sit up, either on the floor or back in your chair. You can come to sit if you're on the floor with your legs crossed or straight out in front of you. And if you're in the chair, plant your feet down on the ground, sit slightly forward from the back of your chair. Once you're in your seat, let's all together bring the hands back in front of the heart into Anjali Mudra and close or soften the eyes once more. Seeing if you can draw your energy back to that peaceful, calm place you were in just a moment ago. Some days our minds can be very chatty with lots of activity, and some days they can be a little quieter. Whatever the state of the mind is, though, we can know that there is this place beyond the mind that is always peaceful, always calm, always steady. And our yoga practice is what helps bring us back into that place. Thank you all so much for joining in and returning to yoga, allowing me to guide you through the practice. Namaste.